Caswell Bootmakers is a really cool company. The owner, Kevin, has a passion for trying new things and also for improving everything that he has through iteration. I think, and you probably agree with me, that both of those are fantastic qualities for somebody who's running a boot and shoe company. As part of the trying new things category, Kevin has released his first sneaker called the Soho sneaker, which I have here with me today. It's a classic silhouette of the minimalist sneaker, so if you like that kind of shoe, you'll recognize it and you'll probably like the way it looks on your foot. A little different perhaps than most minimalist sneakers is the choice of leather. So here Caswell has opted for the Horween's waxed flesh leather. There is a tan option and a natural option. I have the natural option. In the pictures online especially, they both look pretty similar. One has different color stitching, but they're both kind of a darker leather. But due to the nature of the waxed flesh, as they break in and as that wax sloughs off and gets worn in with creases and things like that, the two will diverge in look from kind of how they are similarly. Now the natural waxed flesh will be, of course, quite a bit thicker since it's more of a boot leather than the normal pliable leather that you get on a sneaker. Now that, of course, will come with its own set of pros and cons, which we will get into after the intro here. I'm Patrick, and this is Rocky Mountain Style. Let's start off by talking about sizing a little bit. So I have mine in a size 44. So yes, these are European sized, even though they are made in India. I'm not sure if that's common in India. I didn't take the time to look it up, but if you're interested in why things made in India might use European sizing, you can go ahead and give yourself a little history lesson. 44 for me is probably slightly too big. I think it generally corresponds, according to Caswell's website, corresponds to being a 10. Other sources say it's kind of a 10 to 10 and a half. And since I'm a solid 10 and maybe even like a 9.9 or a 9.8, I'm a little bit on the low end of 10. If it's 10 to 10 and a half, that makes sense why it's a little bit big on me. So I probably should have gone with a 43. But with that said, because it's a sneaker and because sneakers just kind of feel better than like a boot would or a dress shoe would if it's slightly too big, they're actually just fine. I have no issues with them being a little bit roomy as a sneaker. So no harm, no foul. However, I do want to mention on the website, it says if you are in between sizes, size up. Based on my own personal experience and talking with Kevin a little bit after the fact, I think we're both kind of at the point now where it would be more like if you're in between sizes, size down, that kind of thing. The build quality of these in my limited wear seems really top notch. There are no loose stitches or other type of construction things that when I see it, I would think, hey, this is a problem or this is shoddy construction or anything like that. They're really thick, really substantial, and they feel really well put together. There's one thing I want to mention about the construction process that if you unboxed these, you may be like, what's that all about? But it turns out it's not really an issue. And I'll put some pictures here up so you can see some close-ups. But because of the way the wax impregnates the leather and because of the way the shoe's stitched together, you'll see down on the edge of the sole where it connects to the upper, some of that wax is displaced up out of the leather, causing it to be a little bit lighter there. Actually, quite a bit lighter. It's noticeable. There's a little bit of a, maybe call it a 1/16 of an inch of lighter leather right there. So really no way getting around that. If you have a leather that has wax in it like that and the machine, presses hard to get the sole right up next to the upper and then stitches through it, you're going to have that leather pushed up. Now I took some Venetian leather balm and slathered some of that on there. And I will say it probably got you about 50% of the way back. It's still noticeable, but it's not as much of a difference between the dark and the light. So just be aware of that. It's not a defect. There's nothing really wrong with it. And as these break in, my guess is that you probably won't even notice it, once you start to get some cracks and some creases and things like that in them. Now let's talk a little bit about comfort. So just like with any sneaker, as long as it's somewhat sized correctly, when you put it on, it's going to feel good. Sneakers are made to feel good. That's just kind of how they go. So with these, that's definitely true. They feel good on your foot. They feel similarly supportive as any other type of minimalist sneaker. I've had several over the years, and it's pretty par for the course. When you put it on your foot, if you've had that kind of sneaker, it's going to feel very familiar to you. There's one thing I do want to point out though, and this is again probably down to the selection of leather being this Horween waxed flesh, which is quite a bit thicker than you're used to with a general upper of a sneaker. And so the tongue itself, where it's stitched at the bottom to the vamp, if you pull apart where the laces are, you can see the edge of the tongue, and it's a little bit thicker than you would expect. One, because the tongue is padded, and two, because the leather itself is thicker. So because of that, once you have the shoe on your foot and laced up, you can feel the edge of that tongue touching the top of your foot close to where your pinky toe and the toe next to it rest. It sort of hits right on top of that, at least from my foot. It might hit you in a different spot, or it may not hit you at all, depending on how you've sized and the shape of your foot. But for me, it does hit there, and it's quite pronounced. You can feel it when you put it on, and it's not uncomfortable, and it doesn't really rub to the point of giving you a blister, at least in my limited wear. And I have worn these all day before. There really were no issues. You can just feel it, and you're kind of aware of it. So depending on how good you are at ignoring little things that you might feel in your feet, or maybe you get used to it with walking, it's whether it's a problem for you is really going to be up to you. For me personally, it's not a problem. I call it a minor inconvenience. You can feel it there. And I have a feeling that as soon as the leather gets a lot more pliable and it's more broken in, there's a good chance that that feel of the edge of the tongue on the top of my foot will be minimized. And even if it's not, the sneakers are still plenty comfortable enough to wear. I still like them. And yeah, I really don't have any issues. I just wanted to make sure to point that out so that if you were to pick up a pair because you like them and you see that, you're not like, hey, what's up with this? So not a problem in my opinion, but your mileage may vary. So real quick, I want to talk about design, and then we'll get into the unboxing portion, which will be directly after this, and you'll see exactly how they came out of the box and my thoughts as I was pulling them out. And I do mention that issue with the leather, or the wax and the leather being displaced. So you'll hear me talk about that more on the unboxing. Design. So they seem pretty safe, right? When you first look at them. And it's interesting because I was thinking back, dark brown upper, white sole with contrasting white laces. It's actually somewhat rare. It's not a very common configuration. And I've found in the couple of weeks I've had these that they look awesome with pretty much anything, which is not something I was expecting. I was expecting them to look good, but it's almost like they accentuate pretty much any outfit that you might put them with, and it elevates them quite a bit. And it's all due to this contrast stitching with the white, the brown, and then back to the white. If Kevin picked all this stuff on purpose and did that on purpose rather than just saying, hey, throw some white laces in it, master stroke of design. They're simple and somehow elevate your outfit while still maintaining that simplicity. So it's kind of hard to describe. I hope you can kind of get the vibe of what I'm trying to say, but they are greater than the sum of their parts. Synergy. Yeah. Business words. Yeah. So I'm just rambling now. You know how I get at the end of videos. I like to ramble. So cool sneaker. I like it. I'm going to be wearing these a lot as the weather warms up. Spring, summer, and I will do updates to show sort of how the leather cracks and wears in. I just wanted to get this out here so you could see them, check them out. There's still sizing for most of these. I think these in the 44 are actually one of the ones that are out in the natural wax flesh. I didn't check the tan wax flesh, but if you want a pair, hit the link in the description and check them out. Let Caswell know I sent you, and thanks a lot. Have a great day, and check out the unboxing if you want. Thanks. All right, everybody, welcome to the unboxing portion. Really excited to see these. I really like minimalist sneakers. I don't buy nearly as many as boots because I generally end up wearing boots, especially during the colder months. But there we go. All right, Caswell boots. And looks like no stickers on the boxes, but no big deal. Let's open it up and see what we got. All right, nicely wrapped with a little sticker on the Caswell branded tissue paper. I'm sure this probably costs Caswell a little bit extra than just plain tissue paper, but I can't imagine it's, 50 cents per box or something. And having that little sticker and the Caswell stuff, I mean, it really just, it does make the presentation just so much nicer. I wish more companies would go to that level of attention to detail. And I'll be completely honest. I mean, most people will say, oh, well, if it doesn't add to the product, don't spend on it. But I'll gladly pay an extra, 50 cents, $1 per pair to have a cool unboxing, right? I mean, your mileage may vary, but I like it. I think it's a cool touch. Alrighty. All right, we got a thank you card there. Thank you for choosing Caswell. Very cool. All right. Thanks, Kevin. These smell really nice just right away. All right, so there we go. Right into it. Cool. All right. These are, I believe, it's hard to tell because they're both very, and I'm sure if you're watching this, I've already told you exactly what they are, but they're hard to tell whether they're the tan wax flesh or the natural waxed flesh. To me, they're both quite a bit darker than tan or natural would indicate. But yeah, they're, in person here, they're a nice medium brown, not too dark and definitely not too light. I mean, you can see the contrast there on the inside. So definitely medium to maybe slightly darker than medium brown. But yeah, really nice contrasting white laces, really nice contrasting white stitching. Let's look up, oops, sorry about that. Let's look up close at some of the stitching here. See, nice and straight stitching there. Let's check that. Yeah, very nicely done. Pretty straight on the back. Yeah, and you can see there at the bottom. And this is just a byproduct of the type of leather this is, this waxed flesh, which is waxed on the rough outside, right? That's just kind of how it is sometimes. And as soon as I start wearing these and creasing them up, you're going to get big, big lines there, here. Actually, may not get any here. These are sewn forward enough, I think. The creasing basically should happen across there. And actually, we'll probably leave all this pretty pristine and maybe even up into here. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they wear. So, yeah, fully leather-lined interior. Let's get the packing out. Nice and well packed. Get the laces out here. Oh, wow. Packed in there. There we go. Laces out. All right, so turn this bad boy around. See there, we've got stamped Caswell logo. Very cool. Nice touch again. So you've got, it's padded around here. Padded tongue. Fully leather-lined interior. So if going sockless is your thing with sneakers, as I like to do sometimes in warmer weather, you can certainly do that without, stinking up the joint too much. There we go, 44. So these are European size. That most closely equates to a US size 10, which I have. The Caswell stamp is a little bit off-centered right there. Perhaps that's on purpose to, make it like that's almost like underlining it or make it, like you're writing on a line on a page. My opinion would be probably look a little better directly centered, but doesn't bother me either way. Pretty standard cup sole. You've got this textured stuff front and back like you see on pretty much every pair of minimalist sneakers. And these are definitely not a revolution, they're an evolution of this design. If you like minimalist sneakers, you'll like this silhouette. It's very unobtrusive. I really like that white contrast stitching on the brown. It looks really fantastic in person. Okay, this is getting long enough. Let's look at the second one here, and then we'll be done. And again, nice branded shoe bags. Really cool. Okay, all right, here's the second one. Yep. So this discoloration here on the leather is a little higher up on this one than on the others. And again, Kevin says right on the webpage, there's going to be some discoloration with this kind of leather. And it doesn't feel at all like it's scuffed or scratched. It's just as smooth as above it. I think it's just, where it was bent over. It's just kind of discolored a little bit. So yeah, we'll watch that as it wears. There's that. And yep, on that side as well. So yeah, this one's a little bit more pronounced than the other. Let me pull the other one back in real quick. Double check. So yeah, it's got it there along the bottom as well. On the inside. Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty much there on all of them, but yeah, again, don't think that's unexpected. Okay. All right. It kind of looks, because it's on a curve, you know, curved in two directions, so you're curved this way and you're curved this way. It's kind of hard to line up. It kind of looks like it's not straight, but it is straight. In person, it looks pretty straight. Yeah, that stitching looks pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, overall, I think for a brand's first effort into sneakers, I think the design here is really cool. It's an interesting leather choice. And again, very, very traditional on the silhouette. Kevin didn't take any chances here, and I think that's definitely the right move when you're releasing some sneakers for the first time. So, yeah, can't wait to get some wear on these, and really appreciate you guys taking the time to check it out. And let's just double check that there's nothing else in the box. Yeah, that's the shoe bag from the other one, and yep, nothing else in the box. All right, have a great day, everybody. Thanks.